Oh, tonight our first speaker is Grover from Orange County, Westminster.
I'm Grover and I'm an alcoholic. It's a familiar podium. Came up here about 6 months ago with Joe. Joe asked me to speak up here a while back, and so I didn't know this is where I was coming, otherwise Joe would be here. But I'm Grover and I'm still an alcoholic, and I got a sobriety date of 4/27/22 from Washington State. I came up here to get right. I went through Gratitude Lodge there in Costa Mesa, detox, residential. I was a tag team with a therapist and a case manager, and it's well, I'm going to back up a little bit. I didn't want to get into the mess, but because I like to stay in the solution. So to identify, I'm an alcoholic and a meth freak. When I drink, I like to do more, and I started drinking when I was still in diapers. My mom used to feed me hot butter rums and all that when I was sick, instead of taking me to the clinic and giving me antibiotics and all that crap. A quilt and a hot butter rum would suffice, and I'd sweat it out. And so after a few years of that, I started sneaking the rum and the black velvet and all the gin and all that stuff she used to try to hide. And I'm the youngest one in my family. I'm the only boy in my family. I got two sisters that are older. It was just a conundrum of shit shows, and as I grew older. So when I came into the rooms and it said it was a progressive disease, I knew exactly what they talked about, because when I started drinking, I couldn't stop. And the more I drank, the more comfortable I felt. And the ease and comfort that it talks about is all the neglect, the abandonment, the sexual abuse, all that the BS that isolated me, that kept me isolated from everybody else and away from the friends and the good times. Being a kid, I didn't have a childhood. So fast forward, jails, institutions, and death. I dropped dead in my living room, 2 bleeding ulcers. I grew up in foster care, grew up in jails, juveniles, and eventually ended up better part of 20 years in prison. And when I came to Costa Mesa this time, what got me into California is I was working Evergreen Concrete Cutting there in Pacific Washington, and I was in the union, and I went to go do my daily-ish at lunchtime, and ended up nodding out with a needle in my neck and 3 empty black velvet bottles in the floorboard of my truck, and all my coworkers, they drove by and saw that shit hanging out of my neck and told on me, and my boss told me, you need to go get right. So I came to California, 4/27/22, and I got right, and just got into it, man, and I followed some simple directions. At the time, it wasn't so simple, because my ego and my pride was still glaring, but they told me to go find a meeting, make it my home group, get a commitment, get a sponsor, get a big book, and work the steps like my life depended on it. And that's exactly what I did. And because of that suggestion, I've worked the steps a few different times. I've had 4 different sponsors. I've completed the steps 4 different times because I was really angry when I got here. My wife died, and I couldn't mourn my wife. She died in 2010, and it was like a little over 14 months ago. I was able to mourn her finally, and I used that as an excuse. I held on to it for all those years, and I couldn't show up for my kids. I couldn't show up be the man that my wife deserved. I couldn't show up for life. Every time I clocked into work, I just wasn't. I was there, but I wasn't, and I couldn't be the best employee that they deserved. That they paid me for. So. Yeah, I showed up, man, and just started following directions, man. I got a home group, and after a while, I was tired. I got to the spiritual growth point, to where my 4th sponsor, he's got 38 years. He took me through the 12 and 12. On page 48, it talks about the 7 deadly sins, and in the 4th step, and then got into the 27 questions on page 50, and I sat at Denny's and I answered those things, man, and I thought I'd found out about who Grover really was, but then once I answered those questions wholeheartedly, rigorously, honestly, I got a full dose of who Grover really was, you know what I mean? Because it's not just pieces and everything, it was how free do you want to be? You know what I mean? For me, I need the freedom from the bondage of self, my own self-uniqueness, thinking that I'm all this and all that, and I'm not. Everybody puts their pants on the same way as I do, you know? So for me, I dove in, and we got down to causes and conditions, man. And today I do well-briety, I go to Al-Anon, I go to AA, I stay away from the ego or the NA because it's all ego to me. It's not about whose chick's top heavy, whose car's faster, or whose schlong's longer. You know what I mean? It's about it's about, for me, it's about staying right sized for the newcomer that comes through that door, so I'm not pushing them out the door. You know what I mean? So, and that's I got to give back what they gave to me. They gave me the truth. They gave me an opportunity and the time. So that's what I do, man. I give them the time. I just did fifth step with my sponsee tonight. You know, out of 60-something guys, I've only gotten 3 through the 12 steps. That's the statistics of this disease in the alcohol. Nobody wants to do the work, man. They sell themselves short. And I've watched it time and time again. And, you know, I've managed houses. I've done my own gig, and I mean, I'm in the sober living now, and I had my own condo, and the tweakers stole all my tools, and so now I'm back in sober living, and instead of burning my life down, going back to the dumpster life, you know, I went back into sober living, and you know, now I'm slowly building back up, you know. When normally I'd light a torch, I'd light a match to that and just throw it in the dumpster, man, and there I go, you know, doing funny shit with funny people in funny places once again. And, you know, so today I stay the course. Today I roll out of bed just like the big book tells me to. I surrender to win. I used to think it was a weakness, but it's a strength. So I get out of my way. I pray for a bunch of people, and I do a gratitude list, meditation list, and that's my daily thing. It's been working for 2.5 years, and I'm not gonna stop. You know what I mean? Because that's how I met another member in the group. I'm not gonna blow his anonymity, but that's how I ended up here a while back. You know, I was down and doing a job in Manhattan, and there's a little comment that was made about jails, institutions, and death, and he asked me if I was a friend of Bill's. I said, yeah, I'm his cousin, and it just started a friendship. We exchanged numbers and started a text thing, and you know, here 2 years later, we're still texting each other, you know, and he handed me his 40-year coin chip, his hope chip, and it was just blew me away, man. So. Yeah, I mean, if you're struggling, welcome to the newcomers. You know what I mean? This shit gets better. Hopefully, if you do some work, it'll get better. If you don't, well, you know, just keep coming back because the struggle's real. You know, what they got out there today just isn't what they call it. It's decorated with clown makeup, man, and it sneaks up and creeps up, and it'll take you out. So I'm forever grateful. Thanks for asking me. Alan, you know what I mean? Appreciate you. Thanks for my recovery.
I can relate to drinking in diapers. Hey, they were giving me alcohol when I was still in the friggin' high chair. Anyways, I think we have a 10-minute break now, right? Is that correct? 10-minute break. Yay!
I can't believe that. Dishonesty and the inability to submit my will to this program. A lot of people say that alcoholism, addiction runs in the family, right? So my father, before he passed away, had 48 years in this program. And his name was Tom Collins. Yeah. And he left me and my mom when I was 2. Last thing I don't remember was slinging me across the marble table. I still got the cyst right here from hitting my temple on the corner of the table. And my mom for years, you know how you ladies are. It's all Tom's fault. All Tom's fault. And he didn't come back in my life until I was 22. So I did have a resentment toward men and toward being a father, a single mother household. My brother was 7 years older than me, and he was into drugs. So that prevented me from getting into drugs for a little while. And I've had I've battled this disease. First of all, I didn't believe it was a disease. What disease? A disease, really? Insurance pays out on it though, right? It's got to be something. And then I just didn't believe in Alcoholics Anonymous. What's this, like, a fellowship of people that got nothing to offer? Or, I don't know, a cult? What is this going on around here? I don't understand. I just don't understand. My first drink, though, was probably about 12 or 14, 12. And first time I got handed a bottle at the park, I downed the whole quart of vodka. First, right out the bat, and proceeded to throw up everywhere. My first set of 5 DUIs was in LA County. It was in Southgate. I didn't really have a big problem with it. It was my junior year in high school. And I remember lights in the back of my car, and woo, woo, and I kind of came to, and an officer pulls me over, said, "Let me see your ID." "All right, Mr. Collins, do you know what you were doing?" I go, "Yeah, I think so." He goes, "Well, son, you were driving straight, and you were driving the right speed limit here in Southgate, 30 miles an hour, but you're on the wrong side of the road." And so he asked me, "Hey, a lot of police officers say they usually multiply the amount. If you're drinking tonight, when you go home, just always say none. Because when you usually say I've drank 1 or 2, they multiply that times 3. So my first time I got pulled over, they had, "How many beers have you drank?" I said 8. We were beer bonging Lowenbrau and Heineken's, and everybody was passed out in my van. And my buddy had power windows put in, this cool surfer van, right? I didn't surf, I played hoops, but I had surf racks on it so I could pose, And he rolls up the window and throws the beer bottle out, smashes the window. So, but I really didn't think I had a problem, That drink gave me a sense of ease and comfort. I'm going to touch on a few topics here tonight, maybe outside issues, but I think they're poignant, coming from where I come from. If anybody in here has been diagnosed with a mental health issue, your diagnosis is not who you are. Let's get over yourself. It is not who you are. Let me give you the rendition of Michael's diagnoses. Okay, 5 years old, I was the poster child by Dr. Leon Edinger, the premier psychiatrist that actually invented hyperkinetic. So I was a hyperkinetic kid. And then I was a hyperactive kid. I was so hyperactive that in 3rd grade in North Long Beach, they put a 4-foot wall of red butcher paper around my desk and gave me my books underneath my desk. I wonder how that will work out with today's Board of Education in the county of Los Angeles, right? Segregated, isolated. And then every recess there was fights. Fights to want to belong. I just never could belong. I looked the part, I think, but guess what? The personality just doesn't fit. It's a square peg trying to put it in a round hole. And that's been my entire life. I've been everywhere all across this world. just trying to fit in. So it really helped me out when I could, drink and use drugs, because that kind of made me feel like I really fit in, right? But it was said earlier by my esteemed colleague of this being a progressive disease. And I don't know about you guys, but, it has progressed on my ass. It has progressed. My original sobriety date, I heard this one gal, she was speaking, she was 41 years, really lovely lady. She said, I got sober, and I got 41 years sober, but when I originally got sober, I didn't know you could go back out and come back in. So, I have the utmost respect for those that have stayed, but I hold those up even to a higher esteemable level of courage that come back in. So if you haven't done, if you're not one and done, so what? Keep coming back. Don't let anybody hold that over on you, right? My dad was one and done. God rest his soul. 48 years. Awesome man. Awesome man. He had a ranch he'd been all over, but he had a ranch in Merced, 5.5 acre ranch, and everybody landed there. And it was your sober living without being charged the sober living fee. Okay? It was your mental health ward without being charged on insurance. I come around to these meetings because, first of all, anything Alan asks me, there's no no in my vocabulary. I never say no to Alan requests, because he's someone I hold near and dear to my heart as someone who works this program the right way. The things he says, the things he does, are what I want to do. So I'll follow him around wherever he goes. I want to plug myself into those people because I want to learn from those people. I come to these meetings because, first of all, let's get this straight. AA is not the bedrock of mental health. Sorry, guys. But guess what? Good news. It's the tool shop of mental health. So I go from hyperkinetic to hyperactive to adult attention deficit disorder, a myriad of Ritalin, Obitan, Citalopram Forte, all that stuff. Then it graduates into manic depressant, then bipolar, and then bipolar 1, high functioning bipolar 2. That's great news. Like Mr. Jones with Richard Gere on that one, you make $120,000 a month and you spend $140. I've done that before. So now I'm high functioning. Okay, at least there's something functioning there. And, I'll tell you what, right now, that's simple. It's straight out simple. I'm tripolar because I keep trying and trying and trying. I'll just keep coming back. That's where I'm at today. So I don't fixate on any kind of one diagnose fits all. I just don't do that, man. It's a moving mark, just like your program is. Every day is a different day. You can't do the same thing you did yesterday and expect different results when you're hit by different things for today. It's a daily reprieve. That's what I remember. I only got a daily reprieve here. And to identify with some of the younger ones in here with the crap that's going on, back in the day when it was fun, supposedly, it was the Playboy Mansion, or it was Jerry Buss's suite for a Laker game, drinks, blow, back to a high, expensive penthouse, and on the shenanigans went. But, I had to have the luxury of having the experience of, going from where I was at to methamphetamine on the street pushing a cart, trying to hit on the girl with no teeth and black bottom feet, with the attention span of a goldfish. Try to talk a girl that has attention span of a goldfish into kissing you. That didn't work. Man. Brutal. Just guppy me, baby. That worked. Oh. Don't goldfish me. Guppy me, baby. So, I've argued with myself over this. I've fought with myself over this. I don't know. I don't have the answers. There is a God and I'm not him. And one thing I like to say a lot of the times is, what my goal is today is to say one less lie. I just want to say one less lie today. That's all I want to do. I've seen the Red Sea part. I've been baptized in the Holy Spirit. I've been baptized in the Jordan River. I've been to Israel. And guess what? I still woke up one perilous time, one more incomprehensible, demoralized state, getting kicked out of a sleazy motel by a Chinese guy on Beach Boulevard, all meth infused, walking down Beach Boulevard because my truck was stolen, my laptop was stolen, my wallet was stolen, and my food card was stolen one more time. Everything was gone one more time. Cell phone gone one more time. Walking down the street. Why me? Why me, God? Really? It's God's fault? No, I don't think so. I've been fortunate in a lot of ways because I went to school and I became a neonatal therapist specialist. I've worked at Long Beach Memorial. I was the first RT in the history of Van Nuys Community Hospital to put a albino baby on crack on inverse IA ratio jet ventilation. I was on the extracorporeal membrane oxygenation team at CHOC. I was the first RT in the history of Yale, Harvard-Yale, to be offered a traveling package. I did pediatric ICU at Yale. But guess what? This disease is progressive because that license is revoked. Yeah, that license is revoked. Yeah. I fought this stuff. I just didn't want to, I don't want to have anything to do with honesty, especially rigorous honesty. I'll give you some honesty tonight. If I can give you some honesty tonight that benefits me, I'll honestly give you some honesty tonight, right? But being rigorous about my honesty, first person I like to lie to before anybody is me. I lie to myself all the time. And then I lie to you. Whatever's suitable at the time, I'll say it. To get to sway, to move you in the direction I want to move you in. I like that, you know? I like to go into a bar and I turn into Mr. Big Shot McNuffin. I'm Mr. Big Shot McNuffin. If I buy the rounds, you got to just shut up and listen to all my jokes and laugh, all right? And tell me I'm good looking. Just lie to me. I'll believe it. Tell me I'm the most handsome, the most romantic, I got the biggest one. I'll just believe it. I don't even care. I just want to believe anything you say. Because guess what? I have a big ego. My ego is so big, it spans the world wide, but it's eggshell thick. You say one bad thing to me, and I'm off and running again. I want to go use. Oh, you didn't like me. She didn't like my shoes. Really? My fragrance was bad. My Tom Ford fucking fabulous I'm wearing right now is bad. Oh, God. What am I going to do now? Methamphetamine. You know, I made fun of people who did speed their whole life. They were a joke. I spent $1,200 on an ounce of blow, not $200 on an ounce of speed. Come on, you guys were losers on speed. Wow. Until I started doing speed. I'd burn the bowl, spill it all over, you know, and unfortunately I've had a past in my life that I don't shut the door on it. Not only have I, you know, accomplished a few things in the medical field, I got offered a assistant directorship at Natividad Medical Center, and that is in Salinas, California. Had a nice ocean view, panoramic view home above the Monterey Bay Aquarium. And I was the only person on call 24 hours a day to resuscitate any high-risk infant delivery situation, besides the neonatologist. But pediatricians or anybody else had to be there. And so after 16 months of high pressure, I came into a facility that, you know, was richly ethically sourced under a union and county, and I was second of only white people there. And I'm Celtic. I'm not even white. I mean, you know, what do they call us about Europe? I'm Irish. It's worse than being white. God. I mean, there's no excuse for us. I can't come up with anything to get away with anything. I just can't come up with it. So I get up there, and one of the guys, you know, back in the day, they had what's called OJTs, on-the-job trainees. So if you were, you know, mopping the floor and you wanted to become a nurse, you cross-trained and you became a nurse. If you're in materials management and you want to be an inhalation therapist, you cross-train for there. So I step in this position as a clinical coordinator, assistant director, assistant clinical educator of all the ICUs and all this stuff, and very high stressed and hated. I was hated, right, because of my color. Because guess what? We get hated on as much as others, believe it or not, in a union. And the people we served were the people that came in here from Salinas that worked in the lettuce fields. We served them well, right? No. They wouldn't take any classes. Well, anyway, this one gentleman, he was an on-the-job trainee, and they couldn't get rid of him at this hospital. And so he didn't know where the oxygen knob was on the ventilator and created brain encephalopathy with a pediatric patient, basically brain death, because he didn't know where the knob was at. So I came into that environment to kind of straighten it out, to think I could straighten it out. Well, 16 months later, and I have the all-time record in the county of Monterey for the most affirmative action cases filed on an employee, me. Michael. I had it with that place. And if you're not doing the program, I have to say that right now, I want to live in the program and I want to visit the world. That's what I want to do. I don't care what you guys want to do. I want to live in this program and I want to visit the world. I don't want to visit the world. I don't want to visit this program and I want to live in this program and visit the world. I want to have a light touch on the world and a heavy touch here. Because guess what? I'm kind of screwed up. I got a lot of deficiencies and I got a lot of abilities. But I have to be right-sized and adjusted minute by minute sometimes, doggone it. My sponsor's 78 years old. He goes to a marriage family therapist with his wife. She's got 39 years. He's got 38 years. And the female therapist says, oh, you got to grow up. Come on, man. He's 78 years old, an accomplished accountant, retired. There's no hope for us men. But that's another topic in another meeting. Anyways, God, we don't win. We just lose all the time, us poor guys. Anyways, it's a constant effort to really keep right-sized. And if you're anybody like me, well, what happened at the end of the 16 months, I screamed at about 6 neonatologists. They couldn't intubate this baby that was 680 pounds. 680 grams. 680 grams. You'll know this. You both will know this. It was 680 grams. You understand what grams are over there. Yeah, you guys. Yeah, grams, okay? Those are the ones you snort, you know what I mean? And so I intubated the baby, got the baby settled, shipped to Stanford, but I forgot. I was so busy I forgot to write in the doctor's orders. Well, Dr. Mark and myself really were at each other for popularity with the nurses, right? So, yeah, he charged me with practicing medicine without a license because I didn't write everything down I did, and I was so pissed off. I negotiated the largest severance package for a Monterey County employee. I left there, and because I wasn't rooted in the program, what did I do? I bought the largest batch of ecstasy and became an ecstasy cocaine dealer in San Francisco. Why be a middle manager in the medical field? I'm just going to go back to what I know. This program has given me more. Honestly, it's given me more than I could ever give back. It really has. That boy that's been abandoned a million times over, no fatherless situation, a mother that, my mom was the strongest woman in Compton. She was just awesome, but, she was the type of gal that you could not get anything past, right? But still, son, you're not an alcoholic. Your dad was an alcoholic. You're not. You can say no. Okay, Mom, well, how many times another drunk driving 5 years and 5 days after that first one. Then I had a wet reckless in Long Beach. And then toward the tailing of this progressive disease, I figured I got the answer. I'm not going to drink and drive. This is what I'm going to do what the new kids do. I'm going to bong methamphetamine and take Xanax. I get pulled over with 13 cop cars right across the street from Howell Hall. Off to jail again I go. There goes the broker's license. Oh, yeah, board certified. Yeah, I'm a real estate broker and a DOC banker. Those are all gone. I don't think I got a disease. I don't think I got a problem. I'm just in the wrong place at the wrong time on a chronic basis. Just always in the wrong place at the wrong time. I don't know. I wish I was a little smarter. And my original sobriety date was 7/5/98, and now it's 12/23/19. 12/23/19, and I now know that, I don't know if I could tell you I got sober the first time. Well, there's been several other ones. There was like 6 months coming out of San Francisco at my dad's ranch from dealing drugs and all that, and then getting right, and then flying to East Coast and practicing at Yale and starting to drink again because I didn't want to score any Coke. I'll just drink again. But then that led into another incomprehensible demoralized state. Today, I'll go out and have one drink. Maybe I'll have the second one. So I go out to drink and I break out in handcuffs and test positive for methamphetamine. I don't get it. I don't even like methamphetamine. I don't know. I don't get this. I don't understand this malady, this spiritual malady that I have to deal with on a daily basis. If I don't do something about it, I'm going to do something stupid again. I don't care what I've had. I don't care what I've been through. I care about right here and right now with you guys. It doesn't matter I've owned properties. It doesn't matter I haven't. It matters what I'm doing today, because guess what? There's no guarantee for tomorrow. There really isn't. There really isn't. You can plan. And the one thing that I used to tell people is that best plan is no plan. But I'm planning all the time. Today I don't make those plans. What I do today is I have a sponsor. I know his phone number. As a matter of fact, I text him every day. And I run most all my ideas past him. And I think, I'm fairly accomplished with my ideas, but guess what? He checks me and he realizes I don't have the best thinking all the time. My thinking is out to get me. Sometimes I'll be in the afternoon and I'll think, hey, my mom missed my mom, right? We all miss our parents, right? My mom and I's favorite drink was a Plenter's Punch. How wonderful would it be to have a little bit of orange juice, pineapple juice, Myers Dark, Myers Platinum, Myers Gold, a little bit of grenadine, and a topper 151. Just one. That's all I want is one. But as they say, one is too many and 1,000 is not enough. I start up on the one, I'm not coming back here. I'm not going to come in and out of these meetings. I'm gone. And today, that abandoned boy's got some healing that's happened. I'm not so abandoned when I'm in a room with you guys here, able to have some coffee, get invited places. I never get invited places, I get invited. Some people want me. That's a shocker. When I get going, Mr. Big Shot McNuffin, after the money runs out, he's not wanted anywhere. No. He's not even wanted in the park with the park people. The park people, they just wait till I fall asleep. And once I'm asleep, bam, all my stuff's gone again. My IDs, my EBT food card, again. Trust me, I don't have any credit cards. Gone. And it wasn't that long ago, I'll have to tell you this. It wasn't that long ago that I was drinking and quite meth-infused, and I resorted to petty thievery. And I had 4 backpacks loaded with jewelry. It was just trinket jewelry, right? Brand new backpacks, all this stuff. And so what did I decide to do? I want to hang out with the homies at 55 years old, right? I want to hang out with the homies down in the homie park. So I'm pushing a basket with brand new stuff. Christmas Eve. Yeah, Christmas Eve. I get to the park, sit down on a rock. I got this thing covered with new items. New items stolen from Burlington's coat factory, Target. I hate Target. I got them good. I ran out quick. I got to hit that place within 60 seconds, because they're looking for me. And that's why I don't go there. Walmart, real quick. And this basket's filled with stuff, right? I take a hit of that funny stuff and fall asleep. And I wake up, and there's 14 bicycle gang guys with bicycles around me looking at me, and all the stuff's been distributed to the park. So I got up one more incomprehensible, demoralized day on Christmas and walked out. Oh, that's a great feeling. You know, I guess I was meth-infused Santa Claus that morning, huh? I don't know, you know. So the drunk driving's piled up. And, you know, I tend to really I like to spend my time with lower companions. I really do. That's why I'm here tonight with you folks. And, you know, my lower companionship I love so much that it just makes me feel, you know, I'm okay, you know, if I'm around you guys, right? And, I've been around some lower companions, and I do remember during the day in San Francisco when my boys would get busted. They'd get popped, you know, from bringing a quarter kilo up or whatever, and they'd go to jail. On the way to jail, they call me up because my street name was Irish Mike, you know. And they go, Irish Mike, we're stoked. I go, what? Well, we got busted. I go, yeah, busted? No one wants to get busted. I go, no, it's a vacation from self. That was their vacation from themselves. Jails and institutions save lives. It stops us from the stuff we're doing to ourselves. I don't know, some people have never been in jail here. But let me tell you, there's probably about, 38 to 42 people here? I guarantee you if there's 42 people in here, there's 68 divorces. There's probably 98 felonies. I guarantee you there's about 300 misdemeanors, and that's just with this guy right here. You know? There's a consortium of divorces and broken hearts and abandonment and loneliness and depression that goes away when you get into the solution. Today, I don't have any problems. I don't want what I had. What did I have? I had a $6 million house in Newport Beach on a half acre with a nanny and a nanny to nannies and 3 kids and a wife that was hot until she screwed my employee and married him for 6 years and then divorced him. That's on her. You know, it is. The thing about it was, some of us, I have to say this about mental health. I don't know if you're anything like me, but, you know, I think that if we're not spiritually fit going into the holidays, we're going into Thanksgiving, we're going into Christmas, we're going into New Year's. And if I'm not spiritually fit, it's kind of like it's not going to return to the people that you used to hang out with unless you bring an AA partner or something with you. You have to tread lightly on some of the decisions you make. You know, and for me, I had 8 years. And then this divorce came. And I didn't want to be the dad that I had. He left me when I was 2 and came back when I was 22, right? Well, that's why I wound up being. You know, the kids are in Monument, Colorado. I've had 8 years of restraining orders on me, and I've never even cussed at them. Don't even get me talking about men's rights or family law, because it's disgusting. But that's part of my story. That's part of my story. Consequently, that's why I'm gay. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Yeah. It's an easier, softer way. No. Anyways, but no, guess what? I've worked through that too. I really don't have the resentment to want to kill Rhonda. No, I'm just kidding. I don't have that. And you know, the miracle happens in this room, guys. We have trudged this life over and over and over again. Again, there's a lot of corporate failure here. There's a lot of personal failure. There's a lot of professional loss. People have came back from death here. This is where it's at. You think it's where it's at SC, Harvard, Yale? I don't think so. Okay? This is your higher level of education, right here and right now. You don't have to take notes, but if you're halfway witted, you might want to write a couple things down. Like, for instance, you know, I had a problem with drinking and using. Today, it's thinking and choosing. It's thinking and choosing on a daily basis. The drinking and using has been arrested for now. What's fear? Some of you guys know. Fear is, for me, it's false evidence appearing real. Most of the time when I'm in fear of something I don't even know about. Right? But really, in these rooms, fear becomes through the 12 steps, through a sponsor, through talking to people like Grover or Mark or Steve or Alan. What happens is, let's face everything and recover. I don't want to come into AA and not have a good life. I'm selfish and self-serving. As a matter of fact, I'm the number one thing I think about all day, all night long. I don't come here to have a lousy life. And if you're in here and you're 21 or 22, just get a glimpse of it for a little bit. I wish some of it would have stuck with me. Really. If you're having issues with fentanyl and alcohol and all that other stuff, I had a guy the other night I'm working with, and I just smoked a bowl, comes back, fentanyl, amp, speed, everything's in that crap now. Everything is in that stuff now. But death does not scare us when we go out and we drink, does it? No, it doesn't. Does it? No. We're not afraid of death. You should see the way he drives on his Harley. But you know what I'm afraid of? I'm afraid of myself sometimes. And without the loving hands of AA, without the gift of desperation I had and I remember, without the ability to actively listen and pause, when I run amok and I run the show, it's really a bad scene. It really is. It's kind of fun for the minute. We're gonna laugh and joke, but I've had 1,000 incomprehensible, demoralized states, 1,000, or if not more. And guess what? I just don't want to go there anymore. I just don't want to go there anymore. And if a drink's gonna put me there, if a drug's gonna put me there, why bother? It's not any more fun. It's gotten worse. And unfortunately, this thing is progressive. We progressively get worse, never better. We progressively get worse. There's some people in here that only did alcohol. I am an alcoholic, but this alcoholic goes from scotch to brandy, brandy to natural wines to beer, beer to crack cocaine. That's just whatever. Let me try something else. Crack cocaine to ecstasy. Ecstasy to methamphetamine. Methamphetamine to heroin. Smoking it. Tastes garbage. Ugh. Why not? My life's not worth anything. I want to be around people who will like me, so I'm going to smoke that stuff so they're going to like me and they're going to talk to me, please. I don't know, man. Until I really got into the big book. And I did the 12 steps. I've done them a few times, and it's such a gift. Guess what? Did you know it's only like 12 hours to do all those steps? Maybe 18 hours to do those steps. What are you afraid of? Look at your lives. I wouldn't be afraid of doing anything to those steps. Big deal. There's nothing under the sun or the moon that you've done that hasn't been done. Come on. You're not that important. I always crack up when I go to the trap house and they just did a hit or smoked something or drank something and they're looking out the window. Like, the CIA's not interested in you. Come on. The cops don't want anything to do with you. Your rap sheet's this long and they don't want to do the paperwork. You're not that important. And every one of us here is not that important, but we become extremely important to deliver this message on a daily basis here in AA. I have a place to go now. I get invited places. I want to be here. I don't want to be somewhere else. I get to learn I don't want what I had, and I don't want what you guys have, and I don't want what I could have, because I got addicted to that. What I coulda, shoulda, and had done. I don't shoulda on myself anymore. I get into page 417 into acceptance. And sometimes it's radical acceptance. Sometimes it's the acceptance I don't want to know, but I'll do it anyway. I've had a lot of pain. Well, guess what? Without pain, ain't no gain. So I'm willing to do the spiritual pain work. I'm willing to hear something from somebody else and maybe apply it. It's not a 360-degree turn in your brains, guys. It's a 1% psychic change for a little bit of willingness. Just a little bit of willingness. And I realize that through my vast past and the things I've done, there's one common denominator in all of it. And what is that common denominator? Me. I'm in every event, good, bad, or indifferent. Every one. Whether it's millions of dollars or stealing from a Rite Aid. What's up with that? It's me. I got to look at me. I got to look at me on a daily basis. And today, when I first came in, I looked at the mirror and I had 29,999 negative thoughts. You're not good enough. You're not tall enough. You don't have enough money. People really don't like you. Your mom's no longer with you. Your dad's dead. Your brother's dead. You're an absolute loser, Michael. What do you think you're doing this time? And I look back and I say to myself, I look back in the mirror and I say, you know what? Have you had a drink today? No. Have you had a drug today? No. Well, guess what? If that's your case, you're 100% success right here and right now. Drop it. Drop everything else. You're 100% success. And hold on to that one thought out of your 29,999 negative thoughts. Because you're not, whether you believe it or not, Jesus is not on the cross. So get off of it. Stop focusing on all the negative stuff that's gone on in your life. The moment you stop focusing on that stuff, the moment you're going to allow something maybe positive to come in. When I'm sexually frustrated or when I want love, guess what I do? I go out and love. When I want a friend, I don't sit back and say, God, all my friends suck. I go out and I extend myself out to be a friend. When I want integrity or I want people with lives that have esteemable qualities, guess what? I do esteemable things. I don't just magically have people that want to just hang out with me, but my phone blows up. My phone blows up because people have issues and they know they can call on me and ask me for a little bit of help. And really, they know the answer. It's kind of like in a marriage, right? You just got to look like you're paying attention and listening, nodding, actively listening. Honey, I hear that. You're right, honey. Okay. Same thing in the program. Just don't call them honey, right? Just pay attention to somebody else other than yourself. What that does for me, it affords me the opportunity, like my guys back in the day when they got arrested and went to jail. When I get into service, you know what that does for me? It's like doing a big fat line of sobriety. Just big fat line of sobriety. It gives me more energy. It gives me more ability to help others out. When I see the lights go on, I think, wow, I got to be a part of that. And even when the lights don't spark up, I was able to be there in someone else's life. And I didn't expect anything in return. I don't have to have anything in return. When I stop having to have a return on my investment grows better than Bitcoin. It's spiritual investment. I don't need Bitcoin. I need AA. And I need you people. Because some of you are really bad off. But guess what? I've had all the answers and I've been low. I've been worse than anybody. My last time around, I came through a court-appointed program. Yeah, the low, bottom, indigent group of people. Not one of them owned a home. I've owned 88. Not one of them have been married successfully for a managed time frame. I had. Not one of them had professional degrees I had. And I'm in this group, the Billy Madison of whatever it takes court-appointed program. That's bad. That's not good. This disease is real. Alcohol works. It works to destroy our lives if we be alcoholic. Drugs work. That's why we do them, to escape. But then what happens is it destroys our lives. So let's just stop destroying our lives one day at a time. That's all it is. And our life gets better. And then when we come in here and we listen to people like me, or other people, I'd rather listen to other people than me, we get to find other solutions that work. They actually work. There's ways of not being depressed. There's ways of getting rid of that loneliness feeling deep in your heart. There really are ways of doing that. And it's called what? Action. Get out of self and get into action. Do something for somebody else and stop talking about you. No one wants to know about it. No one wants to hear about my complaints. I used to complain all the time. A little kid, I'd complain all the time in my house. My mom would look all around. Michael, there ain't no complaint box around here. Stuff it. Stuff it. Shoot, I came home one time in second grade, and I was crying. Mom, they're picking on me. Will you help me? Michael, if they're talking about you, they're leaving somebody else alone. Now I just want negative or positive feedback no matter where I go. Permanently ingrained between my ears. But I do know a couple things. And the couple things I know that I really, really appreciate about AA in this group is that through the steps and through you people and through having some sort of understanding, what's been able to resonate with me this time, really full frontal focused, is that I get to live in understanding, and I get to live in acceptance. I get to live in acceptance. I'm not really that, it's love and tolerance is what we're all about. I don't really like the word tolerance. I like the word acceptance, and I like the word radical acceptance. I radically accept you guys today as you are. I don't want anything from you. I just, we have one common goal, a desire to stop drinking, right? I had a desire to stop drinking and using, and now I'm trying to have a desire to stop thinking and choosing, because my thinking and choosing, it's just got to go sometimes. So I run it past the sponsor. I talk to people like Alan. I get feedback from people who really know what's up. And sometimes throwing a buck in the basket here is worth $250 for the psych appointment. It really is. I can never pay back what's been so richly given to me. I have a heart filled with love and gratitude. I don't wake up grateful. I do grateful. I get up, and I'm Irish. I'm like, oh, man, what more do I got to do? And then I immediately pray, and I immediately do a gratitude list. And unfortunately, that gratitude list has gone out to doctors, nurses, AA people, all these people, and all day long I'm getting texts of everybody's gratitude list now. So I'm in perennial purgatory of gratitude. So I can't be negative. I'm looking at everybody's gratitude list now. It's amazing. So that I'm so grateful for. I'm grateful that I got invited here, because most people don't want an Irish in their house on Friday night, Saturday night. And thank you so much for being a part of my recovery. My name's Michael. I'm an alcoholic. Love you all.